Welcome back to Murder with a Mrs. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy. And today we're going to tell you about Marlene Warren.
Don't forget to smash that like button. Check out the description for the links of all of our podcast platforms, Cash App, and Buy Me a Coffee. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends. Welcome back, everybody. Today, the clown killer.
Yeah. We know how I feel about clowns.
Or the killer clown. I said the
Killer
clown. The killer clown.
Killer clown. Yes.
Real quick, thank you to the subscribers.
Thanks, guys.
We love y'all.
We do.
Appreciate y'all more than you know.
100%.
If you guys are listening to it,
You chose
awesome.
us.
You chose us.
We
either
appreciate that.
we got that soothing voice that everybody likes to hear.
People do like to tell us we have nice voices.
You like that redneck sound? I don't know, but
Y'all.
Come on back now. You hear?
Not hillbillies. There's a difference.
Well, that's what Texas or whatever. And y'all come back now. You hear?
Yeah. Okay. No offense to the clown community on this one.
No.
But sometimes people tell me, oh, you're scared of clowns. That's not it.
She is.
That's not it.
She is.
For my whole life, I've just not been a fan.
She's scared of them.
I have a problem with people who disguise themselves to hang out with small children. That's where I come from.
It's for fun.
What are you hiding?
It's to make their lives, the children's lives, enjoyable. They make balloon animals. They pull scarves forever, that never-ending scarf out of their pockets. They got the little flower that squirts water.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
What's the point?
Are you scared of mimes?
I'm not scared of any of them.
What about mimes?
Mimes freak me out too.
See, she's scared.
Not
she
scared.
She just admitted it.
Not scared. Skeptical.
She said freaked out by them.
They freak me out.
Anyway.
Why are you here? Why is your face covered? Why?
They're here to entertain.
Okay. So they're here to spread cheer.
But this one was here to kill.
Well, I have plenty of cheer, so they can move right along. I don't even have anything to do with it. So we know now that this is about the clown killer or killer clown. Now I did it. He's infectious. So let's get into it. We are back in Florida for this one. Florida is just the place, y'all. It's Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, May 26th of 1990. And it's around 10:45 a.m. when Marlene Warren was cooking breakfast. She cooked breakfast or brunch, whatever you want to call it when you eat that time of day. So it's almost 11 o'clock. She's at the table eating with her 21-year-old son, Joey, and 3 of his friends. It's just a typical, relaxing Saturday until a car pulls into the driveway and they see a clown walking by the window heading towards their front door. It has 2 balloons and a basket of flowers. One balloon says, "You're the greatest," and the other has Snow White and the 7 dwarves on it. Weird.
Yes.
They knock. Maureen answers the door and says, "Oh, how nice," before you hear a pop. Joey goes towards the door thinking that a balloon popped, but he sees Marlene laying on the floor, front door wide open, and the clown is casually walking to a white convertible LeBaron in the driveway. The door to the car is open and the car is still running. The clown gets in the car, looks at Joey, and drives away at normal speed.
Okay.
Normal. Yeah.
But could they tell if there were, anyone else in the car?
Yeah, I think the minimum amount of clowns per clown car is like 15.
No, they can fit way more than that.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Must be small clowns. So they got the big shoes and the big clothes.
Well, and it wasn't a normal clown car. This is a LeBaron.
That's true. And it was a convertible.
Yeah. So, they could have piled them up.
That's true. Up high. Go high.
Yeah.
But this clown today was alone. Just by themselves.
A lone wolf.
Alone. Sure. Now, when the friends rolled Marlene over, they realized that she had been shot in the face. A neighbor had been outside walking his dog when he heard the noise. The friends yelled at him that Joey's mom had been shot, so the neighbor's wife called 911. EMS got to Marlene, got her to the hospital, but she was in critical condition, and she had to be put on life support. 2 days later, they did remove the life support, and sadly, 40-year-old Marlene passed away. Now, let me tell you about who Marlene was. Marlene Mae McKinnon was born in Michigan ironically, to a family of clown lovers. They have a room in their house dedicated to clowns.
So you got all like them little porcelain clowns and stuff.
All of the things.
Yeah.
Marlene loved to bake, but she also loved to paint. And she would paint pictures of clowns when she was a teenager. And she was pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. These are pretty good. She did get pregnant when she was 15 years old and had her son, John. She went on to have Joseph, and we've called him Joey. Her and their father married young, and it didn't last long. Now, there are reports, like the information on 48 Hours and stuff that says he passed away in a car accident. I couldn't find newspaper articles or an obituary or a grave for him on Find a Grave. But keep in mind that he most likely did pass away.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So she became a single mom of 2 boys at just 20 years old. But in 1972, she married Mike Warren. They just hit it off. And he had family in Florida, so they all loaded up and headed down there.
From shitty winters to sandy beaches.
Sounds nice, right?
Yeah.
I'd go from shitty winters to sandy beaches in a heartbeat. But I don't think they quite made it to the sandy beaches. Mike worked as a meat inspector, and Marlene started investigating. Listen, it's a day, y'all.
Yeah. It's cold outside.
Yes. We're snotty.
I'm talking like cold. It's like cold to the bone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cold.
Yeah.
But she started investing in rental properties. And these properties were doing pretty good. So Mike quit his job and opened up Bargain Motors. And this was something that he had in his name, and he ran it. Marlene had the other stuff in her name and took care of the rental properties. But they were very busy, and they basically lived separate lives. So they just, because they had so much going on, they kind of separated. I mean, they still lived together, but it was like roommates at that point. And business was good all the way around. So good that they bought an acre of land with a nice home on it, reportedly a $2 million home at Takeoff Place, which I thought was a weird name for a neighborhood until I found out that there's a runway that runs down the middle of this neighborhood. So it's like houses on either side and then a runway right up the middle.
I would totally have my plane if we lived somewhere like that, you know?
You want that plane so bad.
I do. I want a plane. I want an airplane.
But it's funny you mention it because Mike got his pilot's license and got himself a plane.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yep. Now that,
you know, one of these days you're just gonna be. I'm gonna text him like, go outside and you're here.
He's gonna fly overhead, probably flipping me off like, I got it.
Yeah, I told you.
So, but Mike's plane would be reported stolen, and I hate when that happens when somebody just steals my plane. It was eventually found, but the motor was messed up. He also liked the horse races, so he bought himself a horse too. And wouldn't you know it, that the horse was also stolen and later found dead, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Kind of seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, because you're smart. Yeah. In the spring of 1983, Mike would be convicted of odometer tampering. So Bargain Motors does car sales and car rentals. And it seems like he was lowering the mileage on the cars to raise up the prices.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. He got a slap on the wrist with just 18 months of probation, though. In 1988, 22-year-old John, which was Marlene's oldest son, sadly passed away in a car accident. According to the newspaper report of the accident, it says he failed to stop at an intersection and hit another car. Now, the woman in the other car was treated and released from the hospital, so she made it, and she was fine. But if that's true, then that means that both he and his dad both died in car accidents. And that's tragic. This did mark a turning point in the family's dynamic again. So they're already living separate lives, basically, but under the same roof. But this really put a rift in Mike and Marlene's relationship. Joey would later say that Mike wasn't there for her like she needed him to be. And this is also around the time that we will start talking about Sheila. Sheila had a little criminal history of being in trouble for shoplifting and theft when she was younger. She married Richard Keene in 1987, and he was 20 years older than her. And they had a son named Charles. Now, Richard was a tow truck driver, and Sheila was a repo agent, both for Bargain Motors. So that's how they are connected to Mike. Now, with Mike and his damn bad luck of things always being stolen from him. He liked to mess with the odometers. And then you throw in Sheila's background of theft, mix in a little bit of Richard, who is an ex-con and former KKK member, and they all made a hell of a team.
Well, I mean, this can't be good.
No. So they would sell cars, repo them, and then report them stolen to collect the insurance. That had like a whole little scheme going. Allegedly, Sheila once dressed up as a sex worker and lured a customer into a hotel room where she held him at gunpoint while Richard and Mike repossessed his car.
So they were really into screwing people over.
Yeah, that was like their favorite pastime.
Gotcha.
Sheila was 27 years old, attractive, didn't take any shit off anybody, and didn't shy away from criminal activity. She also carried a .38 on her, so her and Mike hit it off immediately. There were rumors that they were having an affair, but they always denied it. Even Marlene suspected it. The other workers at Bargain Motor said it was more like an open affair because everybody knew. They just didn't talk about it. And I guess Mike and Sheila didn't really hide it very well on the job. Great. In January of 1990, about 5 months before the shooting, Sheila filed for a domestic violence injunction against Richard and moved into an apartment with her son. Her neighbors said that I just spoiled that. Her neighbors said that her husband visited a lot, but they didn't know that it was actually Mike that was visiting her at the apartment on a regular basis. So you got that. Mike had talked to family and friends about wanting to divorce Mike, but she was worried about her assets because she's got all these assets and he's got separate assets, but she was worried he would take some of hers if they got a divorce. And that plus what could possibly happen to her if she filed for divorce. She was, I guess, a little scared of physical harm. Just a couple of weeks before her murder, she said that line to her mom that we hear so damn often in these cases. Do you know which one that is?
If anything ever happens to me, it's Mike.
If anything ever happens to me. Yep. And this brings us to the day of the shooting. In Joey's interview with police, which they have audio recording of, he says she went to answer the door, said, "Oh, how nice." They heard a loud boom and headed to the door. He told them that the clown looked like a man because of their size and masculine mannerisms. Masculine. Yeah.
So did he try to go after them?
He did make an effort. He said that, because he said they were casually walking back to the car, no big hurry. They didn't peel out when they left. So they're really not trying to get away very fast. The problem was that Joey had a broken leg that was in a cast at the time. They actually thought that the flowers and the balloons were for him because of his leg. Like get well soon. Yeah. So he couldn't move fast enough to get to him, even though they weren't going very fast. And this person was in full clown too. The outfit, the big orange fro-style wig, red nose, a full face of makeup. So the only thing he could really tell police is that it looked like a man and they had brown eyes. And when the clown went to get into the car, they did make eye contact with Joey. So that's literally the only distinguishing feature he could tell them. The police immediately look at 38-year-old Mike. There was even an anonymous female who called in just hours after the shooting, telling them, "You need to look at Mike." Like,
and it was her mom.
No. No, it wasn't her mom. So you got more than one person that's like, you need to look at the husband.
Yeah. So the handkerchief wasn't like leading the trail or nothing like
that. 52,000 handkerchiefs all tied together.
Handkerchief.
No. Yeah. But the mom did tell them to their face.
So she wasn't a true clown, is what you're telling me.
It's a man. Remember, there's masculine mannerisms.
Okay, so he wasn't a true clown.
No, there was no squirting flour, no balloon animals, just the clown. So the mom did, though. She did tell them, the cops to their face, "Hey, you need to look at Mike." But he was at the racetrack with his friends, so his alibi was really easy to verify. The caller was never identified, but they also tell them to look at Sheila. Mike and Joey actually went on a radio station where Joey admitted he was shocked that Sheila was even a suspect because he was convinced that clown was a man. They had man hands, he said. Mike and Joey, after this, did not talk very much. Sadly, Joey would fall into a long battle of coping with drugs and alcohol. I mean, he's lost his whole family under tragic circumstances. So he's having a rough go of it. And Mike was like, okay, I'm out. Bye. Nice knowing you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're at the halfway point.
Yeah, but I mean, talking about like the dude, the clown had man hands, and did man. I've seen girls that have man hands.
Yes.
No offense, but I mean,
so immediately when
I wouldn't want to get slapped by them.
Immediately when I heard him say that, I thought of Deuce Bigelow, where she reaches over.
That's a huge bitch.
I immediately thought of that and was like, it could totally be a woman.
But yeah, I mean, it's just,
Yep.
But anyway, so we're going to take a break for an ad. Please stay with us. We have to do the ads. Come on now.
Yeah, guys.
It's one of the things. When you're sponsored, you got to do ads. So just
support.
Stick with us. We'll continue the story here in just 1 second.
Do you or someone you know live in an apartment community? Are you balling on a budget? Then this ad is for you.
Some apartments don't have a washer and dryer included in the lease. If you want that life, then contact My Laundry Solutions.
They serve Tulsa, Oklahoma, Springfield, Joplin, and Kansas City, Missouri, Sherman, Dallas, Houston, and Lubbock, Texas. Their newest location is in Fort Worth, with more locations opening in Texas in 2025 and 2026. No credit check, free service, professional installation, and your account is available online, all for about $1 a day. Go to your leasing office, go to mylaundrysolutions.com, or call 800-535-4411.
Stop wasting that hard-earned money at the laundromat and give My Laundry Solutions a call today. Go check out My Laundry Solutions. Great company.
Yes.
Great people.
Support the businesses,
and
y'all.
If you guys want to contribute or help with our podcast in any way, not asking, you don't have to, but it would be very appreciated. You can go to Cash App at dna.truecrime@gmail.com or buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/MWTM.
And we appreciate those who have contributed.
Absolutely.
We have had a coffee on, y'all. Thank you so much. It keeps us keeps me up to research.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Darren up to edit and do all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's much appreciated.
Yeah. We wasn't on last week, because we had to update softwares and do some other stuff.
Bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just takes time.
It does.
But
now,
where are we at?
It would be 4 days after the shooting on May 30th that they found the white LeBaron. Now, sadly, this was the day before Marlene's funeral. So sad. The LeBaron had been left at a Winn-Dixie parking lot 5 miles from Marlene's house. The car had been reported as stolen from a rental car company, not Mike's, a competitor's. Inside the car, they collect real brown hairs and fake orange fibers, resembling costume wig hair.
Mm-hmm.
They check out local costume shops and find out that just 2 days before the murder, one of the costume shops had closed up shop for the day, but someone came a-knocking. The owner said that they were closed, but the person was insistent that they had a clown emergency and needed a costume ASAP. Gotta have it.
I doubt they said it was a clown emergency.
Okay, I said that part. But what else do you get from it?
I need to dress up like Cookie.
Right?
Or
they
Bozo.
needed it. Bozo.
No, I mean, Cookie was his assistant.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you because I don't watch clowns.
You don't remember the Bozo the Clown Show?
Come on. Remember there was a show.
This was towards the end of the Bozo the Clown Show. I guess that was the 80s, really.
I'm out on all of it.
Yeah, but Cookie was his assistant. And he had the orange hair.
Nice.
Yeah.
But didn't he have like kind of a Krusty the Clown situation going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like bald on top, but it was orange.
Yeah.
Going around and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But this person was very adamant. The handwritten receipt showed that they bought a clown costume, white face makeup, a red-orange wig with a red nose. And the person was a thin, white woman with brown hair and masculine features.
Mm-hmm.
The balloons, specifically the You're the Greatest one, was only sold at the Publix on Military Road. And wouldn't you know, that about an hour and a half before the shooting, a white woman with brown hair and male mannerisms bought those 2 balloons and flowers.
Hey, can I get some balloons and flowers?
Yes. This Publix was also less than a mile from Sheila's apartment.
Thanks, dog.
Stop it. The cops did show a photo lineup to the people at Publix and the costume shop, but they couldn't be 100%, meaning the costume shop owner pointed to one picture saying it could be her, and it was Sheila, but then pointed at another picture and said, or it could have been her. So they couldn't, it was close, but no smoking gun. Sheila tells the police that she was at work that morning looking for repos, but she couldn't tell them where. She couldn't give them an address or any type of location. I mean, come on.
Well, that's negative.
Like, get your story together.
Yeah.
They searched her apartment and found orange fibers consistent with the sample clown wig that they had to get because they didn't have the actual wig. They never found it or the costume or the gun. So they got a sample wig and was like, this is similar characteristics. It was as close as they could get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
Not good enough. And while
so they had 2 masculine women in the video.
Well, there weren't videos. This was 1990.
So I mean,
all they had was people who worked there saying.
Okay, so images or people saying there was 2 masculine women in there.
So there was a photo lineup.
No offense to any women that have masculine features. I'm just, just ripping here.
I got linebacker shoulders.
Yeah. I mean.
But no, so what they had to do back then was they just did like a photo lineup. So they put like 6 or so pictures of people on a piece of paper and was like, can you point out, you see the person? And they were like, well, it could have been that one, could have been that one. Both of them did that. So they couldn't really, I guess they did have 2 women with masculine features. In the pictures.
My aunt used to play football back in the day.
Get it.
And I was always scared of her.
Should be.
She would whoop your ass. My aunt would whoop your aunt's ass.
For sure. Now, Mike had an alibi, remember? So they know he wasn't the clown, but they couldn't ignore his involvement. Like, just because he didn't pull the trigger doesn't mean he didn't have anything to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So someone obviously had to they were running off the assumption that someone would have had to let Sheila know that Marlene was home that day because, she's busy. She's always out doing stuff. So it was pretty convenient that his alibi, too, had plenty of people to corroborate it. So it wasn't just like, oh, I was out at the track. No, he took all his friends with him, too. So he had like all these people saying, yeah, I was totally there with him. They asked him who he thought could have done it or had reason to do it. And he never mentioned Sheila. He never told them about the affair. He never said, maybe it was her, look at her. Never once. In any capacity did he mention Sheila's name. He also inherited all of Marlene's assets, which were about $1 million worth. Back in the 90s, that was substantial money.
Of course.
And he kept all of it. Joey got nothing. I know. Even though Mike had been in his life since he was 3 years old and was the only father that Joey ever knew, he gave him nothing, which is fucking tragic.
Hell, all of it should have went to Joey.
All of it should have went to Joey. During the investigation.
Well, I mean, I guess all of it should have went to because she had 3, right?
Kids?
Yeah.
No, she only had 2 and one of them had already died in a car wreck.
Okay.
So Joey was it. That's all she had left.
Okay.
Biologically, that was hers.
I missed that. I guess I thought because it was her first husband. When they split, he was suspected of being in a car wreck too, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's reported he was in a car wreck.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the investigation, they find out that Mike is still up to his old ways. He would end up getting arrested and sent to prison in 1994 for 43 counts of fraud, grand theft, racketeering, and odometer tampering. Still doing the same shit.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
But, I mean, what's bad about it is like that stuff still happens today.
Oh, yeah. People do it all the time.
You know what I mean? I mean, when you go, whenever y'all think you're getting a good deal on a car,
check it.
Really check it.
Question everything.
I'm a 30-year mechanic and by trade. And whenever we go out and buy cars and stuff like that, I mean, it's just, we really look
you have to
at everything. We look at the odometers. I mean, because it's easy.
It's
I mean,
very
it's
easy.
so easy for them just to swap it out.
Well, I had a friend a long time ago too that went down to another state and bought a vehicle. And when they got back, it started acting up. So they took it to their mechanic and they found out that they had Sharpied over where the light shines through for the engine light to come on.
Yep.
They had Sharpied over that. So you couldn't see that the light was on when they bought it.
And I've seen where they took the cluster out and pulled the lights.
Yeah. The
everything.
fuses, you can take those out.
Yeah. They'll pull the lights to where
Watch it, y'all.
I'm just telling you, just be aware.
Yep.
Take it to your local mechanic.
Yes.
Have him run a diagnostics. Pay the $50 or $100 for the diagnostics because
it's worth it.
Because if you're buying this car for a daily driver, you need to watch your money.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Go ahead and pay that diagnostics fee and see what all the problems are, because more than likely there are problems, because nobody gets a deal on a car.
If you're buying from a stranger.
Yeah.
Because if you're
buying a used car from a dealership, do the same.
Well, I mean, if you have like a trusted person that you always buy off of, that's cool. Yep. But if you don't, if you're buying sight unseen or that's why I don't like these CarMax. Yeah.
Which, I mean, we bought the truck. So we got rid of our new truck, sold the other truck, or bought this other truck, and drove it for a month, and drove fine, it was all good, and then had to take it to the dealership, and $4,500 later,
here we are.
Now it's fixed,
but it's fixed.
Yeah.
Now Mike was also shady with his advertising, not just his words. An example of that is there was another car rental place really close to his lot that was called Payless. So he made an advertisement, probably in the phone book or newspaper, because that's how they did it back then, showing the word Payless real big in the middle of his ad with his business phone number under it. So if you're just looking at it and you are not familiar, you're going to go straight to that ad if you're looking for Payless, the actual car rental place. So shady. A couple had rented a car from Payless and ended up calling Mike's business, asking how to return the car after hours. An employee at Bargain Motors told them to leave the car at the gate with the keys on the windshield wipers. Real secure, Mike.
Really?
Real secure.
Oh, okay.
But this is how police found out that Mike had access to that white convertible LeBaron.
The clown car.
The clown car. That was the car.
Yeah.
So when I said it was stolen from a competitor, it was Mike that stole it.
Yeah.
Come on. And like I said, he went to prison in 1994, got out in 97. Sheila divorced Richard finally, and in 2002, Sheila and Mike got married. She dyed her hair blonde, went by the name Debbie Warren, and the couple moved to Virginia. Now, across the border in Kingsport, Tennessee, they opened up a burger joint named the Purple Cow. Former employees said that she was aggressive and mean as a boss. They had rumors going around that she had killed Mike's ex-wife. So she came to work on Halloween dressed like a clown.
Okay.
Yes. So you can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
That picture of her on the screen dressed like a clown, that is her at the burger place on Halloween.
It's in the little right corner.
Yep.
If you guys are watching the video, it's in the right corner of the deal.
Yes, that's her. That's her. Just wild. Wild. But in 2013, Marlene's case was reopened. Now, at this time, we have 2013 testing for the evidence, not the 90s testing. So the real brown hairs in the LeBaron were matched to Sheila.
Booyah.
The orange hairs in the car were matched to the ones in her apartment. So they know that the clown costume had to have been in both places. In 2017, the clown was taken off the streets. I mean, Sheila was arrested. Yes. Joey was damn ecstatic. It had been 27 years since his mom had been killed. And finally, they have something they could use as real evidence. She did plead not guilty, and her trial would go on to be postponed 6 times. And then there was COVID. She couldn't get bail, so she just kind of had to hang out in county jail. Excuse me, sorry. She wrote to Mike, of course, because that's her husband. But she also wrote to her mom. And she said in one of those letters, innocent people shouldn't have to be made to sit in jail this long waiting on a trial.
No, you're right. Innocent people shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
But you, on the other hand, clown ass or ass clown.
Not so innocent, lady.
Fuck.
Yes. Some other people did also falsely confess to the murder. So that had to be looked into too. But as usual, they didn't have any information outside of what was in the news. So this is why police don't release everything they have when they're doing a case.
Yeah.
So they have that evidence. And even with what they had, the state had quite a battle ahead of them. Witnesses are relying on 30-year-old memories now. Some witnesses have even passed away at this point. The defense said that the orange fibers that they say were from the wig could have been from so many other things. And the state knows that the LeBaron was stolen by Bargain Motors, and Sheila worked there. So her hair could have been in there because of that. And they showed a lot of pictures of the evidence that the state had at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The bags were torn open, and it looked like they hadn't been preserved very well. So 27 years later, or however many years later, when you're doing your retesting, they're saying that it was now contaminated because they didn't take good care of it.
Good job there.
Yeah, I was like, damn it. The DNA sample that they took showed both male and female genes present. So they're like, why are you putting it all on her when there's obviously a man and a woman that was involved? There was also apparently a clown sightings file that the state lost. So I guess there were like 35 clown sightings in the area at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And each side, when you're going to court, has to share their findings so that, the whole class can see it. And it was eventually found, but the defense says that this is just proof that there were 35 other suspects in this case.
Was it 35 other suspects, or was it them seeing the 35 clowns? Was it 35 people seeing the same fucking clown?
Right? That's another thing too. But they said that they had already ruled out all these other people, but it still doesn't matter because it was Sheila's hair in the damn car.
Exactly.
So anyways, they had already looked through that whole clown posse and said that none of them had anything to do with the murder.
The clown posse. I heard they're insane.
You got jokes. The state did have an attorney, though. It was Christopher DeSantos. He represented Joey when he had a little legal trouble when he was younger. It seemed that when he was 18 years old, that he was with a group of friends. Something happened. And even though Joey wasn't directly involved, reportedly, he was there. So he was looking at an attempted murder charge. Attorney DeSantos says that as they were leaving the courtroom after a hearing on that case, Mike randomly asked him if a man could still inherit if he murdered his wife. Attorney DeSantos says, if you murder your wife, no, you cannot inherit anything of hers. But if it is manslaughter, or if someone else murders her, then you still could. And then he said, for example, if you wore a clown suit.
Really? I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. He said he wasn't advising him to do that exactly. He was just saying that if a person's identity couldn't be proven, that you can't get a conviction. Well, number one, stop telling people how to get away with murder. And number two, there are other ways to get a conviction.
He should have been brought in for, was it conspiring?
Yeah, a conspiracy to commit something. But he came forward and was like, listen, I didn't mean to say this. I thought we were just talking like cocktail talk,
Doesn't matter. You gave him the idea.
Wow. He feels really bad too. But not all solved murders have an eyewitness saying, yes, I saw that person do it. Like there's other ways to get convictions. So people. Now, by the time Sheila was finally ready to go to trial, the state offered Sheila a plea deal. So much could go wrong at trial with the evidence that they had. And 2 weeks before the trial, on April 25th of 2022, so now we're here, Sheila accepted that plea deal. And what a sweetheart deal it was.
Mm-hmm.
She pled guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for a 12-year sentence.
And that was it.
That's it. Now, keep in mind that she had already been in jail for 5.5 years at this point. So with time served, it's immediately cut almost in half. She also spent that whole time in solitary confinement. So she hadn't had to deal with other inmates in the county. Now, since this murder happened in the 1900s, right?
Yeah, don't say it like that.
Okay. Since the murder happened in the 90s, they followed the rules of that time. Good behavior was apparently super convenient back then, and she got that added too. So she spent about 18 months in prison and was released November 2nd of 2024. Just a couple months ago. A total of 7 years for murdering someone like that. And I don't even know what to say about that.
That's ridiculous.
That's something to say about that.
So my thing is like, since it was Mike's new wife, does Joey get any money?
For what?
Because they proved that she was the one that killed.
But not Mike.
Whatever.
The money and everything, all her assets and all the stuff that they sold off, it all went to Mike. It was his. Yeah. Now, I remember hearing about this case years ago, probably because it involved a clown. But when I was researching other cases and saw that she had already been released, I knew I had to talk about it. Now, the great debate is Mike.
Yeah.
Do they go after Mike?
Do they?
But I figured if they had something, they would have already gone after him.
They should have went after him.
Yeah. So I think at this point, it would take somebody coming forward with some actual proof for them to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike's, it's
so she's still with him?
Yeah. Yeah. So Joey thought that the sentence was light, but he was happy that something was finally done. Shirley, Marlene's mom, she sadly passed away in March of 2023. So that was a month before Sheila pled guilty. So she missed that part, but she was still there for Sheila getting arrested. And reportedly, Sheila and Mike are still together, living their best life.
Yeah, well, maybe they were cooking up something.
The state?
Yeah, maybe they're like, maybe they're trying to build a case.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Go on, state. Keep looking.
Because more than likely, he's still doing the same old thing that he used to do.
Just at the burger joint now.
Yeah.
Ew, I wonder what he's doing there. Scam people.
He's probably not paying his taxes.
He's probably not paying his taxes. He's probably filling the meat.
Yeah.
Bro. Anyways, that's all. That's hearsay.
But yeah. So that's the end of this one.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
If there's anything that ever does come up on this one, we'll revisit.
We definitely will. If they ever come up with Mike
clown.
Yeah, not
case.
The clown killer.
The ass clown killer case.
Yeah, she's kind of shady. But anyways, yeah, that's it.
All right. Well,
thank you guys.
There it is. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and make sure you guys check us out on the next one. Yeah. Until next time.
Bye.